Earlier, yes, when the JavaScript was not so powerful, people used to use the JavaScript just for validating the data. Like I give some age is less than greater than 21 or not. I give the password. Is the password is greater than 8 characters or not? If the password is having so and so values or not. So just for validations. So that is what we used to do with the JavaScript earlier days. But nowadays, JavaScript is so powerful that lot of things are happening just within the JavaScript without any dependency of the server side coding. Okay, so the only thing what we actually depend upon with the server is the data, only the data. We just need the data will be provided by the server, and everything will be done with the JavaScript itself. Okay, so that much powerful JavaScript is. So it's a lot of people don't even know that JavaScript is even supporting the partial object oriented features. It's not supporting the 100% the oops concept, but partially it supports classes, it supports objects, it supports inheritance, it supports abstraction, encapsulation. Polymorphism is not supported, so JavaScript doesn't support the overloading and overriding features. So other apart from that, like every other object-oriented features will be supported in JavaScript. On the top, data security. We use the concepts of closures in order to secure the data. We use the concepts of exception handling in order to handle the runtime errors. So like this, lot of predefined features, a lot of high-end advanced features are being supported in JavaScript, which is making the JavaScript language as a superior or a super powerful language. Okay, anything what happens on the client side is just happens only with the JavaScript. So we already discussed this, that anytime you execute any of the programming language within the browser, it is only JavaScript. So within the browser, something need to be done, logical, arithmetic operation, or dynamicness. These all things can be done by the only JavaScript. No other programming language can get executed within the browser, even though you use other programming language. Like if you go for JSP, Java Server Pages of your Java side, they use the JSP to develop the web pages. ASP, Active Server Pages, they use the web page for develop. They use the pages for developing the web pages. They go with the Angular, TypeScript, and PHP. Other technologies are to develop these pages, but their responsibility is just only to create the pages. But anyway, if at all they have to get executed within the browser, they all have to get converted into JavaScript again, because browser only understands a single programming language, which is JavaScript. Okay, so that is how the JavaScript is so powerful, and it is having some high end advantages. Okay, so till now, as I said you, HTML and CSS are simply dumb languages. They cannot do anything arithmetic operation. I want to do some 2 plus 3, 4 plus 5. If I want to do some sum more here, addition here, division, or some logical, like if age is so and so, do something. If the password is so and so, do something. When the user is clicking on something, do this action. So these type of logical ability, your JavaScript is, the HTML and CSS are not having. So we are combining the JavaScript to the existing HTML, CSS. So together, these three languages or these three technologies are going to help us in developing a end-to-end web page where a static content, dynamic content, anything can be shown on the web page. Okay. So this is what we are going to achieve with your JavaScript. So let us start with a basic piece of JavaScript, how to do some simple arithmetic operation, what are data types, etc., etc. We'll go into that. Okay. So before going with the JavaScript, I really want to make you guys so clear that uh, till now, whatever we have done is completely different. Guys, just give me a second. Yeah, sorry guys. Okay, so what I was saying, yeah. So till now, the way you are looking into this training program has to be completely changed because openly, I want to to be very much honest with you guys. If I take 100 people and I teach HTML and CSS, 99% of the people will understand the HTML and CSS because nothing logic over there, right? You just need to know that, okay, what is the tag, how to use it, and what are the properties, just to apply the value, nothing logical, nothing dynamic, etc. But if I take the same 100 people and I teach the same JavaScript, I'm very much sure that 70 to 60% only will understand this. It doesn't mean that I'm not explaining well. I was explaining well, but not everyone will take it the same way. But yes, again, I'm not saying that it is complex to understand and all. It's the only thing what they were missing is they're not doing the enough practice over here. People who don't have any knowledge on JavaScript earlier, any knowledge on the programming language earlier, they have attended this training and they could get the master in the JavaScript. Okay, just because they are just purely solving all the assignments, they were doing the enough practice, they were putting the questions in the class, and they have done that. At the same time, people who had an idea of Java, they had some other programming language earlier before, they attended the class, but still they are not clear. Like people take it as light. Okay, boss, I mean, it's JavaScript, it's simple. Yes, it is simple, but at the same time, you need to put a lot of efforts because it's a programming language. So on the day one itself, I'm making you guys very much clear, guys. JavaScript is not so simple to implement. Okay, until and unless you do the enough practice. If you do the enough practice, the most easiest language JavaScript is. It is not having too much of library, too much of guys. If you are not in, okay, so JavaScript is very, very easy. You can understand it better. You can implement it easily. You don't need to download, etc. Nothing to be done. Nothing much complexity it is having, but only if you do the enough practice on it. Okay, because it is a programming language. Do the enough practice. Do the assignments, whatever we are giving. So attend the classes regularly and keep putting the questions, whatever you face it. I am very much sure that you will get master at it. Okay, so please don't take it light, take it serious, and increase the number of hours what you're practicing. Till now it is HTML, CSS, it is fine, but from now you need to put some extra efforts for the JavaScript, guys. Okay, and especially for the people who say that this is the very, very first time I'm into the programming language, I don't even know C language, I don't even know C++, Java and all. Not at all needed. I'm going to take the things from the very, very scratch. If you feel complex, please let me know. Okay, I'll find the solution for that. But I will finish all the classes at the final. When I ask you guys, boss, how it is going, you should not come up with an answer saying that, boss, it is speed or not understanding. I should not see that. If you feel the speed, please do let me know in the class itself. Okay, in the same class, because I'm keep on asking the questions to you guys, right? Boss, whether you understood or not. At the same time itself, you can say that, boss, it is getting speed. Could you slow down? So that it will be easy for me to rectify the things. So if you do it afterwards, it won't be easy for us, or it like unnecessarily repetition will be done here. Okay, so please be concentrated, put some extra attention, and keep throwing the question wherever you feel. Especially for the people who are new to the programming, don't take it as the too much of burden on you. It's very, very simple. You just need to uh, follow the flow. That's it. Whatever the flow you have, you just need to simply follow. I will try my level best to make the explanation as simple as it is, but keep asking me the questions that was repeated, or wherever you get question, please let me stop me and let me know that. Okay, yeah, so let's dive into the JavaScript, guys. First of all, let me create a very simple example. Okay, so I'm simply creating a HTML page. Okay, I'm simply putting a div tag. Okay, so another thing, guys, a lot of people have a confusion saying that, boss, if it is JavaScript, it means that it is related to Java. Nothing. Java is a different programming language and JavaScript is a complete different programming language. Okay. And another thing is Java is a server-side programming language, whereas JavaScript is a client-side programming language. Okay, so this is the first main thing you need to understand here. When you go with any of the programming languages, you go with C language, you go with C++, you go with Java, you go with .NET, you go with C#, any programming language you go, you need a corresponding compiler to be installed in your local machine. Like say, for example, you're going with C language or C++. You need to have the Turbo C compiler where it can take your instructions, it could able to parse it, it could able to compile it, interpret, and it could able to show the data to you. If there is no Turbo C compiler in your local machine, obviously you cannot execute the C instructions. In the same way, the C++. In the same way, you go for your Java code. I write some Java code. If at all I need to execute it, compile it, or interpret it, I need to have the JVM, Java Virtual Machine, or at the same time, you need to have the JRE, Java Runtime Environment, to be set up in your machine. Then only you could able to execute the Java instructions. In the same way, Python. If you want to execute your Python instruction, Python compiler need to be installed. Now, the question what you should have is JavaScript is also programming language. Do I need to install any of the external software in order to compile the JavaScript code? Because it is programming language. So the main advantage what we have is, yes, JavaScript also needed a engine which is capable of executing the JavaScript instructions or compiling the JavaScript instructions. But the advantage what you have is you don't need to install them manually. By default, every browser what you have installed, either it is what do you say? Either it is a Chrome or Firefox or Safari or Mozilla, whatever the browser you go, IE or Edge, whatever the browser you go, whenever you're installing a browser, every browser by default comes with a JavaScript engine, individual JavaScript engine. It is not like we are installing the Chrome, JavaScript engine is there, Firefox is using the same engine. No, it is having its own JavaScript engine. Every browser will have their own independent JavaScript engines, which are capable of compiling and executing the instructions, whatever we give. Am I clear? Now,
Yes.
on the top, we want to execute the JavaScript code. So we don't need to install anything. Just get the things on the browser. Obviously, JavaScript will be executed. Okay. So let us start this piece of JavaScript code here. So one thing what we say is, I want to put some instructions. The very first instruction, what I want to make use is, I'm using a simple method like alert. Okay, guys, before this, I just want to know the people. May I know who says that, boss, this is the very, very, very fastest time we are actually into the programming? Anyone in the class? Can you just ping me instead of raising your voice?
Yes, sir. Me.
I asked you to ping you, please. So that, okay, Pavan says that, Bhuvana, Abhinav, Madhu. Next. Okay, Nagarjuna, Praveen, Soheb, Jyoti, Pavan Sai, Sheikh, Pavitra, Aji, Ratik, Muhammad, great, Sayed, Mahesh, Surya, Vamsi. Good. Okay, that's nice, guys. I mean, a lot of people are very much new to the programming. So that itself says that I need to start from the very, 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 very scratch. Okay. Yeah, that is the only reason I have asked you guys. So especially for you guys who have said that this is the very first time, you please put this word that anytime you have any questions, you feel that, boss, I'm not understanding, it is my responsibility to make you guys understand. Okay, because that is what I have promised on the day one, that you forget everything. You just need to put the extra attention. It's my responsibility to make you guys very much clear the things. Okay, so you can ask me or you can stop me whenever you feel like confusion. You feel something like, don't feel that it's a simple question or a complex question. Don't feel that what others will be thinking if I put this question, whatever you have. Just only think that it's a question, and I'm here to answer your question. That's it. Okay. So other than saying that, boss, repeat the things, you know that I'm not much in favor of repeating the things. If you simply say that, boss, repeat the things, it's not easy here. But I'm very much interested here. If you say that, boss, here at this point, what is this here? Now you repeat from there. That is like a very valid one. If I simply give the description of 15 minutes of class, simply anyone can throw me a question that, okay, boss, repeat it. It's so easy for them. But some people will say, like people who actually understood and who actually got a question, what they say was, up to this point, it is fine, but why this point is not happening? Then I'm very much happy to repeat the things. Okay, hope you understand my point. So whenever you feel any questions, please stop me out there and put on the questions. Then only we go forward. So again, I'm repeating, from today, the number of hours what you're practicing to be increased and the extra attention to be kept inside the class. Okay, so let's go here. So the very first thing what I'm talking about is, there is a predefined method, something called as alert. Okay, so one more thing what I have is, say for example, what all I couldn't able to do with the Java, HTML and CSS. Okay, let's have a look on that. I simply say something called a div tag. Okay, I say the sum of 30 and 40 is 30 plus 40. My expectation is, I would like to find the sum of 30 and 40, and I would like to show the sum on the page. Now, if you come back, open inside the browser, what is happening? Do you see the 30 plus 40 is happening over there? No. Why so? Even though you are giving the plus operator, the HTML is a dumb language. It doesn't understand what you mean by plus operator. It simply feels it as a text. And whatever the text you have given, my responsibility is to show it on the UI. That is how simple HTML is getting executed. That is the reason we go with the JavaScript. I want to go with the JavaScript. Using JavaScript, I would like to execute this arithmetic operation, and I would like to show the data back to the user. Okay, so let us see how we are going to do with the JavaScript. So the very first thing what I'll be looking here is a predefined method, something called as alerts. Any programming language you go for, okay? Any programming language you go for, every programming language comes with predefined methods and predefined objects and predefined classes. Okay, any language you go for. Say for example, when you go for your C language, there is a predefined method, something called as printf scanf. When you go for your C++, there is something called as cout cin. When you go to your Java, system.out.println. Okay, so there are a lot of, that's a simple example I'm giving, but a lot of methods will be there, a lot of predefined keywords will be there. In the same way, there is a keyword like int, void, clear, exit, final, try, catch, lot of predefined keywords. So when I say predefined, what do you mean by that? The thing which is already been defined, you're just making use of it. In case of your HTML, div tag, is predefined? Yes, we are simply making use of it. You know how to use it and you start making use of it. In the same way, when you go to any of the programming language, they comes with predefined methods, objects, variables, lot of other things. So among which in your JavaScript, there is a predefined method, something called as alert. Alert is one of the predefined method. What is the use of this guy? He says that, boss, use a method within inverted commas, whatever the message, I say hello everyone, whatever the message you give under the alert, I will create a dynamic pop-up and I will show it to you. Okay, alert is one of the predefined method. It takes a string as a parameter. Whatever the message you give it to this, it will be automatically showing back to the user. Now, if you save this guy, come back to the browser and reload the page. Do you see the pop-up coming? No. Why the reason pop-up is not there? It is actually why the alert message is not being shown, but alert content, whatever you have given, it is as it is shown on the page. Why the reason? We already know that. What does the body tag do? Body tag, any piece of content, whatever you give within the body tag, it will be automatically shown on the UI. That is what it is already been defined. Then how do I say to the HTML tag saying that, boss, this piece of instruction, whatever I have written is not for showing as it is, but it is a JavaScript code which has to be compiled and executed. Okay, the question is, how do we say to the JavaScript or to the browser saying that the thing, whatever you're going to look here, whatever the message I have given this line number 16, it is JavaScript code which has to be executed, which should not be shown as it is. So how do I tell to the system? That is where you have a predefined tag. Okay, there is a predefined tag, something called as script tag, using which we could able to add any number of JavaScript lines of code. Using script tag, we could able to add any number of lines of JavaScript code, 100, 200, any number of JavaScript code lines can be added under a single script tag, open and close. So whenever you want to write the JavaScript code, okay, internal JavaScript code, you have to keep the JavaScript within the script tag. Script is a predefined HTML tag which is capable of holding any number of lines of JavaScript code. Okay, and the script tag takes an attribute equal type attribute here, where it is saying that I'm going to hold some text content which is of type JavaScript. That is what the meaning here. And this is optional. If you remove this, still it will work. But it is recommended to keep it. Okay. So now once I save this guy, now when I come back here and when I reload the page, do you see the JavaScript is getting executed now? Earlier, it was not treating it as a JavaScript. It was showing the instruction as it is. But now the piece of code, whatever you have written, it is getting executed and it is showing a pop-up for you. That is what the job of an alert. Now, if you ask me a question, we haven't written any piece of code to show the pop-up, to create a button with OK and all. Have we written? No, that is what predefined, right? That is what the alert is already having a meaning for it. The job of the alert guy is whatever the lines of code you give within inverted commas, I will simply create a pop-up and I'll be showing a content on the within the pop-up with OK button. So like this, there are other pop-ups also like confirmation, window, etc. and all. We'll see them later. But the first method, what we see is alert method. Now, once I say OK, remaining all HTML code is as it is. Any questions until here? Anyone?
Sir, when you tell that alert, hello everyone, it's coming as the page says. So can we change that text, the page says, to anything else?
The message or the look and feel of the alert cannot be changed. If you say that OK button is there, instead of OK, I want to do something else. Or instead of page says, I would like to put something else. These things cannot be customized within the alert tag, alert pop-up. If you put me a question, no boss, I want to create some different type of pop-up, then you need to go with the customized. We can create our own pop-ups also, which we'll see that later. But for now, with the things what been given by the JavaScript, this is what alert can do. Am I clear?
Sir, we display the alert after
hello, sir.
got executed.
Sorry, Venkat, what was that?
Can we display the alert box after page got executed?
After page got executed, yes, we can even do that. So there are some methods like set timeout method, and there is something called as document.ready method. There is another method which makes JavaScript to get executed after the complete DOM gets loaded. Yes, we can do that. Next.
Hello, sir.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Sir, string something you told, sir. What is that?
Sir, in CSS, as we are writing inside the head in JavaScript, where to write the script, means inside body or inside head or inside HTML tag, within which tag we have to write the script type.
So Sushmita, like if you remember when we are talking about the CSS, style is the predefined tag which is capable of holding any number of classes, and style is the tag which can be placed anywhere within the page, anywhere, header part, body part, within the body, div part, anywhere you want, you can place the style tag. Recommended to keep it within the header part. In the same way, script tag is a tag can be placed anywhere within the page. Header part, body part, within the div part, wherever it is. In a single page, you can have any number of script tags, but it is recommended to keep the script tag under the header part.
Okay, sir.
Next.
Thank you.
Sir, as script is a tag, you say we cannot add some border or the width or all that, right?
Obviously, script is holding the JavaScript code, but script is not creating a look and feel, right? As it is not creating a look and feel, we cannot add the look and feel changes. It is not occupying the space. It's not the part of it. I mean, it's a part of a DOM, but it's not creating a space or it's not creating a look and feel so that you can add some changes. So you cannot do anything for the script attack. It is just capable of holding the JavaScript code of the page. Next.
Is there any difference if we place script tag inside a head or body?
The only difference is the script gets executed first. Anytime you come to your HTML, HTML gets executed from top to bottom. HTML gets executed from top to bottom. If you give the script tag under the header part, it gets executed first. Later, the HTML gets executed. If you keep the script tag at the bottom, HTML gets executed. Later, the JavaScript code. That's the only difference. There is some piece of code we are going to see in sooner. There is something called as DOM operations. Like I want to identify one of the div tag, which is having an ID called as ABC. Under that element, I want to add some CSS. So when I need to write the piece of code, that code has to get executed only after the complete DOM gets loaded. So in that case, I cannot put in the header part. If you put in the header part, I will try to identify an element having an ID called as ABC, but it is not there because body is not yet executed. So in that case, you need to keep the instructions at the bottom. Next.
Hello, sir.
Sir,
Hello, sir.
Yes, please go ahead, Shreyas.
Sir, did you say that if we keep the script tag inside the body tag, then first the HTML page will get executed and then the JavaScript?
Yes. I
Okay,
said
sir.
that, right?
I had missed that part. That's all.
Okay, yeah, it is there. Next.
Yes, sir. What is that?
Okay, hope everyone is clear till here then.
Hello, sir.
sir, can we provide the CSS property to the string inside alert? Like, can we change its look and feel?
Pravita, could you repeat again? Can we provide?
Sir, inside we have given allow everyone string inside alert. Can we provide like CSS property to that particular string?
No, Pravita, that is what I said, right? Someone asked about like alert is having some message, page says, can I remove it or not? The look and feel changes in the alert box or the OK button, whatever it is, you cannot do any type of changes for that. That's a predefined. If we want to do any type of changes, it is better you go with the custom. You create your own pop-up that we will be seeing. We can create our own custom pop-ups also. So when you do that, you can create the own message. You can put the font size, you can put the borders, colors, background, whatever the look and feel you wanted, you can actually add it, but not for the predefined parts. Next.
Hello, sir.
What is best practice, right?
Sir, can we change the position of the pop-up, like bottom of the page or side?
Alert pop-up mostly cannot be changed, ma'am. That's a good question. Even I didn't try that. Well, let me check it. Alert pop-up position. We never tried that actually. Just give me a second now. 1 second, guys. I just lost my system down. 1 second. My lap is. One second, guys. My system is restarting. I'm just logging in back.
Sir, I've got a question. Can I ask you while your system reboots?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, if I've got two script tags or two alerts as such, which one gets executed first? Both of them are kind of giving a pop-up message. Which one shows up first?
Until and unless we click on the other one pop-up gets closed, the second pop-up will not come. There is no case that pop-ups will be shown at a time, because until we press OK, the further instructions will not get executed.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, please go ahead, please. Guys, when you're asking a question, please, go ahead and ask me the questions. That's it. You don't need to take the permissions. Yes, please go ahead, Robin.
As you told that fast HTML tag is execute after that script tag will execute. But here after pop-up, then HTML tag is comes. Why, sir?
We are actually getting a feel like that, but I can show an example where you can exactly see that this is getting one by one. Okay, let me show you.
Okay, sir.
Okay, my system is back. Let me start my screen share.
Also, sir, can we give it a target? For example, target is a new tab to show as a pop for the alert.
No, that cannot be done, because when you say the alert, this JavaScript belongs to one of the web page. When you create a tab, that is never a part of the current web page. Each individual tab is individual page.
Okay.
Okay. So hope you can see, guys, my screen.
Hello, sir. I have a question.
1 second. Hope you guys see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let me clarify this question, what others Robin is having, then I will take your question. Is that okay?
Okay, sir.
So let us say I have a simple div tag. I have some ID equal to say some container. Okay. I want to write some piece of JavaScript here. Forget about the alert. Okay. I want to write some piece of JavaScript. Dynamically, I want to insert some value within this div tag. Okay. The JavaScript code, what I write is document.query selector hash container. I will talk about this. I'm just showing an example. That's it, guys. Don't bother about what do you mean by document, query selector and all. I'll talk about each and every statement later. I say inner HTML equal to, hey, I got added dynamically. Okay, something I have given here. Now, if you save this guy, open inside the browser, do you see, hey, I got added dynamically? Super fine. Okay. Now, let me put the JavaScript code before this guy. Okay. Or if you see here, what is the message I got? If you see at the console, you should be able to see an error saying that there is no element which is having an ID called as container. Why so? Because it is executing top to bottom approach. I'm coming to line number 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm coming to line number 10. I'm executing this guy. Query selector. I'm trying to find out an element who is having a container. But by that time, this container got created? No. Okay. So in this case, for sure, I need to make sure that JavaScript has to be only executed after the element gets executed, or there is some other method which is called as document.ready method, using which you can actually delay it. Hope, Robin, are you clear now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That JavaScript is always following top to bottom approach.
It will take DOM tree, like
DOM structure, top to bottom approach.
Yes,
And
sir.
one more thing, guys, when you have if you have an idea of other programming languages like C language or Java language, you always have a starting point. When you go to your C language, void main is the starting point. When you go to your Java programming language, public static void main with args statement is the one which is the starting point. Doesn't matter thousands of lines you write before the main method and after the main method. First main method gets executed, later remaining all will be executed. Is it true? Yes, right? But coming to the JavaScript, we never have any type of starting point in your JavaScript code execution. Whenever you're writing the JavaScript code, you don't need to write any type of main method. Then what is the starting point of JavaScript? The very first line of your code is the JavaScript execution. So under the script tag, whatever the line you give, that is what the starting point. There is nothing like it will check for the void main method, startup method, init method, nothing like that. Okay, the first line what you give is the first line where I have to start executing the things. Okay, next, any more questions? Can we go further?
Sir, what is the best practice? Write code in JavaScript, head or body? What is wrong?
Sorry, Samit, could you repeat again? What is?
What is best practice? Write code in JavaScript, body or head? What is best practice? Write code JavaScript.
Somehow, Samir, I mean, did anyone understand this question?
What is write code best practice? Write code JavaScript, body or head? What is
Okay, you mean to say that what is recommended? I mean, what is the best way of writing the code? Does it need to be placed under the body tag or the header part? That is what your question is?
Yeah.
So it's all depends, Samir. The thing is, earlier I was putting the piece of code where there was no dependency of the document.element. I was simply having an alert. There is no dependency of the DOM structure. In that case, I always recommend to keep the JavaScript code before the DOM. I mean, under the header part. When it is DOM related elements, you need to keep it within the body. But in most of the cases, it is recommended to keep it within the body tag. Sorry, within the header part. And make sure to delay the JavaScript code until the DOM gets loaded. That is where we use the other methods like document.ready method and all. But yes, to just answer your question, recommended to keep it within the header part. Am I clear, Samir?
Yeah, clear, sir. Thanks.
Yeah, next. Okay, so this is what we have seen with the alert is one of the yes, please.
Sir, I asked the question that can we change the position of the
Oh, yeah, I was checking for that, right? Okay. Changing position of alert a JavaScript. Customize. Okay, so mostly no, ma'am. Because if you see here, they are actually not using the alert. They are using the jQuery pop-up and all. So mostly there is no chance. Okay, if at all you have to do the positioning or if you want to put any customization CSS for the alert pop-up and all, we have to create our own pop-up there. In future, I mean, maybe once I go with the DHTML coding and all, do remind me, I will show you how to create our own custom pop-up. Now, as we create our own custom pop-up, any content, any look and feel, any position, it's all in our hands. We can do that. Clear, ma'am?
Okay, yes, sir.
So another thing, guys, now I say that, boss, this is what the syntax I need to follow. So hope everybody know what do you mean by syntax? A rule, what we need to follow. Example, in HTML also we have a syntax. What is the rule to write a tag? We used to say tag and we used to say tag closing and we need to write the piece of code inside this. Isn't it? In the same way, when you write the JavaScript code, they always expect the code has to be in a syntactically valid format of the JavaScript. So JavaScript guys have already given some set of rules and regulations. We need to follow the rules and regulations to get the job done smoothly without any errors. Example, my expectation for the alert method, the syntax is alert, predefined keyword, open brace and closed brace. Under that, you go with a string, either with a single colon or double colon, both are same. But now I missed to put the braces here. Okay, I'm not putting the braces here. So is it syntactically correct? No. Now, if you reload the page here, do you see the alert coming? No. So if you inspect these guys, so how do I know that something error is coming? This is where we are going with the console tab. Till now, we have seen the elements tab, and sometimes I have even shown you the network tab also, how it is interacting with the server, what all the resources interacting with the server, etc. and all. Now, under the console, it is going to show you the list of all the errors being generated. Either it is compile time error or runtime error. Whatever the error we get, it will be listed within the console. So anytime you're executing or you're writing the JavaScript code, make a habit of opening the debugger window and keep monitoring the console tab. Because if you don't open the console tab, what you will be thinking? You'll be keep on reloading the page. You feel like, boss, why this alert is not coming? But at the background, it is you have added a syntactically wrong statement and that is not creating the pop-up for you. Okay. So now I need to put the message here. I mean, the brace is closed here. Now, if you reload the page, now the pop-up has come. So this is how the piece of simple JavaScript code we have written here, a simple alert method. Okay. The next thing what you have is, okay. So the next thing what we have is,
sir, it is mandatory put the semicolon, right, for each and every thing.
Semicolon is an optional actually. So what is the use of semicolon here? Semicolon indicates end of the line. I mean, end of that statement. That statement, whatever you have given, that is the end. But putting a semicolon is an optional. In JavaScript, it doesn't throw any error. Now I'm missing the semicolon. Now, if you come back here, reload the page, it still works. Semicolon is an optional, but other than semicolon, everything else is mandatory. But it is recommended to put a semicolon. You don't miss it. You always make a habit of putting it.
So if you write one more alert without semicolon, still it will work, right?
Yes, it will work. Let me say, for example, I say this alert only hello I give. I'm not putting the semicolon for two of the statements. One alert, second alert, it's done. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let us dig much more deeper. Yes, alert pop-up we have seen. Next thing what I have is, I want to do this job, guys. Earlier, we couldn't able to do this. Java, HTML couldn't able to understand what is 30 plus 40. I want to do that using your JavaScript. So let us do that. My requirement is, I want to simply say 30 plus 40. Okay, my requirement is, I want to do the sum of 30 plus 40. What are the ways I can do? The very first thing, doesn't matter whether it is JavaScript or any other languages, the very first statement what they say is, anytime you are working with values, 30 is a value, 40 is a value. Anytime you're working with any of the values, it is recommended to keep the values into variables, operate on the variables, indirectly it will be operating on the values. Repeating again, when you have values, take the values into variables, operate on the variables, indirectly values will be operated. Okay, what I'm saying here, if you really want 30 plus 40, why don't you say something called as A equal to 30? Why don't you say B is equal to 40? Why don't you say C is equal to A plus B? This is what it is recommended. Don't take the values directly 30, 40, etc. and all. Put the values, put into variable. Put the values, put into variables. Now the variable C is going to have the sum of A plus B. Now I'm not going to do this. And as I said you, every statement should end with a semicolon, recommended. Okay, not mandatory. Like this. Okay, now I have the value of A and I have the value of B and I'm performing the sum of A plus B and I'm storing the value inside the C. The next thing what we need to understand over here is, when I say A equal to 30, am I not storing the data into the variable? Am I not storing the data into the variable? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Whenever the data is getting stored inside the variable, it is actually allocating some memory to hold that value. So what the JavaScript programming, not only JavaScript, any programming language, what they say is, boss, before making use of any of the variable, you are using three variables here, A, B, and C. Before using any of the variable, you need to tell me so that I will occupy the memory for that variable. Okay, any programming language. Okay, let us say, for example, if it is C language, you know what I need to do? I need to say int A comma B comma C. This is what you do in case of your C language. And what that C language, what the language is going to do internally? Internally, say for example, internally, there will be some memory. Okay. Internally, within the memory, what actually it will does is, it will create 2 bytes of it will create 2 bytes of memory. It will put the variable as A here. Right, if you're not talking, please go into mute. Okay, so I allocate a memory here. Okay, this is variable. Okay, this is memory A. This is how it will be allocated whenever you say something called as int A. Whenever you say this int A, this is how internally memory will be allocated. Now you say A is equal to something called as 30. It is going to store 30 into that memory allocation, whatever it is done. Now this int is a keyword which is called as data type. Okay, when I say int here, it actually says the data type. So what do you mean by data type? The data type actually specifies, okay, the data type actually specifies what type of data it can store and how much memory it has to be allocated. Whenever you say int here, it is going to occupy 2 bytes of memory. I say float B, it is going to occupy 4 bytes of memory. When I say char C, char A, it is going to occupy 1 byte of memory. Like this double boolean, there are different data types what you have, where the data type is going to tell you 2 things. One is what type of data it can store and what size it can store. Now, when I say int A here, now I say A is equal to some Raj. Are we storing number or string? Are we storing integer or string?
Number.
Then it simply throws an error. It is going to throw an error for you. Why so? Boss, you said it is an integer and you are trying to store some string. String is anything which is character and anything which is within inverted commas. Either it is single colon or double colon. It will be treated as a string. Now, I say A is equal to 90. Is it is possible? I can do it or not? After saying int A,
Yes, sir. Possible, sir.
Obviously, yes. Why? So you said it as an integer. You're storing only integer. Now I say A is equal to 9.9. Is it is possible? No.
No, sir.
So you said
No,
it is
sir.
an
No,
integer,
sir.
but you are trying to store it in decimal. But in the same way, when I say float, you know, at the same time, I say A is equal to some this much value. Is it is possible? No.
No, sir.
Because int is only 2 bytes, but you are storing more than 2 bytes. So these are the 2 things what a data type is helping to the system, saying that, boss, it is capable of how much memory it can occupy and what type of data it is capable of storing. Okay. In the same way, when I say float, it is 4 bytes. If you give more than 4 bytes, it is simply error. In the same way, character 1 byte. If you give more than 1 byte, it simply throws an error. So that is what the data types are actually telling to us. When you go for any of the programming language, when I say data type, int, float, character, string, etc., the data type always tells you the type of data it can store and what is the size of data it can store. Okay. Now, coming to the JavaScript. The main advantage, what you have with your JavaScript, what JavaScript is saying is, assume you're into the C language. Okay. You said something called as int max count equal to say something called as 90. Okay, in JavaScript you said that int max count equal to 90. Super fine. After this, later I said max count equal to some value it is changing. What is the problem? Is it going to throw a problem or not? It is a problem. The reason is because you're giving the max count equal to so and so, which is bigger than the integer. isn't it? It is bigger than the integer variable, then it simply throws an error for you. But now what I'm saying is, the problem what you have with these languages is, while creating the variable itself, you are saying what is the size. Okay. What JavaScript is going to say now, when it is JavaScript, what JavaScript says is, whenever you want any variables, you don't tell me what type of data it has to hold. You just tell me that it's a variable. That's it. What JavaScript is saying is, whenever you want any variable, if you see in case of your C language, you are telling what variable it is, you are telling what type of data it is, you are telling what size it is. But what JavaScript is saying is, you simply say var max count. That's it. You are only telling that max count is a variable. Var is a predefined keyword which says that JavaScript boss, it is a variable. That's it. The advantage what you have is, you say max count equal to ABC. You tell me what is the data type of this guy? Is it not a string? Because
String.
I tell you already, anything which is within single colons or double colons, single character or any number of characters, that will be treated as a string. You haven't said it as an integer. You simply said max equal to ABC. That's it. Now it is becoming like a string. I say max count equal to 90. What is the data type of this guy? Integer. Because the value what you're giving, it is deciding what type of data type it is. I say max count equal to something called as 9.8 decimal. Based on the value what you're giving, the data type is getting fixed. I say max count equal to something, something, something. Can you give it? Obviously, yes, because you haven't ever said that this is 2 bytes or 1 bytes or whatever it is. This is main advantage what you get with your JavaScript. Whenever you are declaring any type of data type, you don't need to specify the data type. You simply say var. Var is a predefined keyword which tells that whether it is what type of data type it is. I mean, whether it is a variable or not. That's it. Just a variable or not. Just you simply say var so and so. That's it. It will automatically become a variable, and you can just make use of that. Any questions still here?
Sir, like in other programming language, is there any way to explicitly mention like int, float? I mean,
in JavaScript, we don't have an option to specify the data type. That is the reason Angular has moved from JavaScript to the TypeScript. In TypeScript, there is a way to define the data type of the variables. In JavaScript, you cannot define the data types of a variable.
So all the variables we define with the keyword var, and then based on the value, it will define like whether it is integer or float. This is the only way, correct?
Exactly. Okay. So now what I'm saying here, guys, before saying A, B, C, can I say int A, comma, B, comma, C? Can I do this, boss?
Yes, sir.
Come on.
No,
Can
sir.
I do
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
Here there is no keyword
We
like
declare var data type.
float and all. We simply have var. That's it.
Var.
You just need to use the var keyword. Using the var keyword, at a time you can declare any number of variables. If you say var A, one variable got declared. If you say var B, comma C, two variables are declared. Any number of variables can be declared using a single var keyword. Okay. Now, if you save this guy, come back to the browser, reload the page. Do you see the output? Where is the sum of 30 plus 40? No. Why? Why it is not showing any output? Boss, you have written the piece of code to only process the data, but we haven't. Exactly. So we have written the piece of code only to process the data, but we haven't written any piece of code to see the data. Now, can I write an alert here, which we have already saw? I say alert, the sum is C. Okay. Now, if you come back and reload the page, what is happening, boss? It says that the sum is C. This is not my expectation. My expectation is not to see the variable C, but my expectation is to see the content what variable C is holding. Right? Now, what I need to do here, take out the C here, because anything you give within inverted commas, that will become a string. It will not be processed. So if you take out the value outside of the string, okay, and now this is a string and this is a variable. Anytime you have a variable and a string, put plus as a separator. Here, plus is only working as a separator. It doesn't mean that we are doing the sum. That is that we are using the plus here. No. If I say something called as asterisk, it is multiplication, but still we use the plus here. Plus is a separator between a variable and a string. Okay. So now I say a plus b, save this guy here, come back here and reload the page. Could I able to calculate the arithmetic operation here? Yes, boss. This is why the reason we go with the JavaScript. If it is plain HTML, CSS, we couldn't able to solve this arithmetic operations, but now using your JavaScript, I could able to perform the arithmetic operations on the variables or on the values indirectly. Any questions till now?
Sir.
Yes.
Hello. Sir, some have seen in some code that they uses let also instead of where let a is equals to 30 and b is equals to 40 like that.
Sachin, actually we have, for that we need to talk something called as global scope and module scope. There are some variables being introduced from your ECMA 6, let keyword, constant keyword. Then we will be discussing about what actually the difference between var, let and all. For now, I'm not discussing this. For now, let's go with only let, var. I'll go with the other things later. Is that fine?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Next. And one
Sir,
more
how
thing,
many-
whenever you are declaring the variables, always make a habit of giving a self-descriptive variable names. Okay. Now I said var a. Instead of that, I say something called as first value. I say something called as second value. I say C as result. Okay. Now I say first value equal to so and so. Second value is equal to so and so. Result is equal to so and so. B is second value. Okay. Now this guy is result. Save this guy. Come back here and reload the page. Do you see the same output? Yes. What is the problem here? What's the change you got it? Self-descriptive always gives a extra information about the variable what you are using. You use A, B, C, X, Y, Z and all. The third party person who looks into your code, they don't understand the things, right? That is the reason it is recommended. Always make a habit of using the self-descriptive variable names. Okay. And whenever you are using the variable names, always follow the camel case. Variable always should start with a small letter. In between words has to have a uppercase. Now, if you say, boss, I will give uppercase, it doesn't work, it will work, but it is recommended to follow the rules here. Coding indentation rules. Okay. Self-descriptive names and camel case every time you have to follow. Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, first value is a 30 and second value is also 30. What is the memory allocation, sir?
Memory allocation is individual. It is going to happen whenever you give the same value. In case of JavaScript, there is no pointers concept being supported. Address-based values will not be stored. When you say first value equal to 30, it will create an individual variable. When you say second value equal to 30, it will create an individual variable. It doesn't mean that I have two values. Why don't I have the same reference, two different values for the same? It's not going to happen. Okay.
Sir, make a
thing,
first value is a 30 and again we make a first value is a 60. To what value is stored, 30 or 60?
The value what you give on the recent. Now here I gave it as 90. Okay. Now if you find the sum, what is going to happen? 120. Obviously, I came to line number 18. I allocated a memory for first value. I came to line number 21. Memory value has been added to 30. When I come to 25, same variable is changing. I will remove 30 and I'll update to 90. So only 90 will be considered.
Okay, sir.
Next.
Sir, how many ways we can show the output?
Sorry, Prakash, what was that?
How many ways we can show the output? Is
That's a
there
good
only alert or anything else?
Yeah, that's a good question. like some people even think also says that why you are showing in the alert, why you are showing the output in the form of an alert? Why can't I see the alert within the page itself? I can see the alert in the page itself, right? And one more method, what actually we have is, the problem what you have with the alert is until and unless you say, okay, it doesn't go for the next. So that is the reason I take out this alert and I use a method, something called as console.log. What do you mean by this? Under the console, log a message. This is the message. Now, if you save this guy, come back here, reload the page. Where is this? No, open the inspect, go to the console tab. This is where you can see the message. This is the second way. One is alert, one is console. In fact, mostly recommended to go with the console rather than alert. Because if you say 10 alerts, you need to say, okay, to see all the messages. But here, when you say console, it will simply put it on the console. But the only dependency is you need to open the debugger window. Other than this, you cannot see the console messages. And the third way is show the value back onto the page itself. Okay, my expectation is I say that some div, the sum is something called as a span tag. I'll put like this, and I will write some piece of code here. Document dot query selector span dot inner HTML is equal to result. I'm just doing this. Let us see what is the output I'm getting. Now, if you reload the page, see output, able to see the output on the page itself. But I'm not going to do this for now, guys. The reason is if I go with this line number 34 way, I need to talk about what is document, what is query selector methods. There are a lot of dependencies are there. So these concepts I'm going to cover in the DHTML. For now, my main concentration is to make you guys strong on the JavaScript. We need to be so much good on how to process the data. We are not concentrating on how to show the data. Okay, first of all, let me make you guys feel so strong on how to process the data, how to read the data, etc. information, how to put some logics, how to put some dynamic data, etc. After that, the only thing what you will be pending is after processing, how do you show the data? That I will be covering when I actually go to the DHTML. Did I answer your question, whoever asked this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, next, any other questions? Okay, hope everyone is clear, especially the
Sir,
people
can
who are
we
new to
provide
the
single
programming.
quotes? Sir, can we provide single quotes within alert and console?
Ravita, that I already said that, right? When I put inverted commas, that is going to be a string. In JavaScript, either you keep it as a inverted commas or a double colons, both treats as a string. Okay, next.
Sir, hello.
To know how much memory is allocated to that particular variable.
Sorry, Abhinav, what was that?
Sir, if you assign a value to a variable, then how to know how much memory is allocated to that?
If a value is allocated, how to know that the value is allocated for that? That is what your question is?
How much memory is allocated to that?
How much
variable?
memory? In JavaScript, you don't have to identify that. Okay, JavaScript is enough intelligent to automatically allocate the memory for the variables according to the value what it is holding. Now, if you say 30, it might be holding some 2 bytes of value. If you give some bigger value, accordingly it may go for long or double. You give some increasing value. So based on the value what you give, JavaScript is enough intelligent on identifying the size of the variable. In JavaScript, there is no way to work with the memories. Like that is the reason I said pointers are not supported. So you cannot work on the memory stuff from your JavaScript due to security reasons. But it is capable of holding the values. That's it. Smaller value, bigger value, whatever you give, it is capable of holding. Am I clear, Abhi? Sorry, may I know question? What was that?
Hello, sir.
Go ahead, Farhana.
Sir, we are hard coding the values in the first value, in the second value. What will be the default value if we don't provide the hard code values in the code?
That's a very good question. So what she's saying is, so in case of other languages, whenever you say something called as var a, If you don't add any value, junk value will be added to that. But in case of your JavaScript, by default, every value which is not been assigned anything, just declared, they call it as a undefined. You see what is the value which is inside it? A is undefined. Any variable which is not assigned with anything will be undefined. No junk data in JavaScript.
It will take memory or not?
No. Until and unless you assign a value, it will not be allocated with memory.
Sir, large number of variables may impact on performance of page.
Large number of variables always impacts the performance, right? Now, I ask you, boss, can you please give me 30 plus 40? You give me the answer in so and so seconds. But if I ask you, take A equal to 40, B equal to 93 equal to so and so 100 variables I'm giving, and I ask you to find the sum or total number of values, do you really take some time? Yes, right? So because you need to allocate the memory for all the variables, you need to process them. So it is always impacting the performance of the page. But yes, I mean, it is not too much of identified performance. It's not like earlier it was taking 1 second, now it is taking 5 seconds of time. No, it just throw the values in microseconds of time. But yes, the difference will be there. Next.
Sir, how we can accept the user-defined values?
Okay. How we can accept the user-defined value in the sense, instead of hard coding dynamically, how do you read the data? That is what you're saying? That is what your question?
Input from keyboard.
Yeah, that is what I mean. Instead of hard coding the data, you want to read the data from the user through keyboard or whatever it is, right? So for that, we need to cover the DHTML coding again, because for that, I need to have some document, object, etc. and all. Right now, I'm not covering. For now, I'm taking the hard coded data. Later, I'm going to show you how do you read the data dynamically from the user. Next. Okay, so hope everyone is so clear. Just a simple example we have done, taken some individual variables and we are hard coding some data, and we could able to perform some arithmetic operation, and we could able to show the result to the user either by the alert or within the console tab, right? So hope everyone is so clear till here. Now, okay, I have some questions on the chat window, guys. The very first question, okay, Abhishek is having a question. What will happen if you remove the plus sign from the console? It is an error, Abhishek. It will not show the value. It will be throwing an error because it is a syntactical rule. Okay, Hemant already answered it. It is error. Yes, this. Next, Abhishek. JS having only var as a data type. Abhishek, var is not a data type actually. Var is a keyword. Keyword means a word which is already being defined, which is having a meaning. What is that meaning? It only says that it is a variable. Var is a keyword using which you can declare the variables. Okay, we are not specifying the data type using that.
So var is a global scope?
Right now it is global scope. When you use within the functions, it is a local scope. Next, Praveen, suppose we can give the negative value. What is the result it shows? Accordingly, now you say minus 30 plus 70. Obviously, it will be 40. Next, or other data type does JavaScript have? There are a lot of other data types available, Abhishek. I will talk about them. Next, can we give negative function? We can see, okay, nickel, no errors, right? Display results, okay. Lohit, what if we swap the places of first value and second value? Both are fine, right? If 30 plus 30 or 30 plus 20. Hemant, do we have right? We have next. How to perform, right? We are not talking, please go into disturbing others. Okay, alert is mandatory to use? No, Deepak, it's not mandatory to use, right? It's your requirement. If your requirement is, I want to show some pop-up, use the alert. It's not mandatory. Gautam, into 2 bytes means 3 equal to 2 bytes. Also 30 equal to 2 bytes. Gautam, yes, I mean 2 bytes is 2 values here. 1 byte is taking 1 digit. 30 is taking 2 bytes. So total it is taking 4 bytes internally based on the value. But we are not restricting. I'm not saying that only 2 bytes can be stored. It all depends. When you go to your other languages, you say int a. A can only take 2 bytes. Other than that, if you give more values, it throws an error. Okay, Prem, sir, what happens if you use 120 plus 499? Obviously, it will find the result, right? It will show the value. Next, Lohit, sir, swap is the sense we write the second value 24th place and first value at 26th place. Okay, you mean to say this guy, right? Yeah, doesn't matter, right? How you're declaring. The only thing is, by the time you are making use of the value at the line number 32, you should have both the values. That's it. Now here I say something called as 90. It will work, right? No problem. Okay, and another use Hemant, debug.log. Right now, we are not using the debug Hemant. Debug I'll be showing you when we actually go with the debugging of your JavaScript code. Okay, in JS Sonali, in JS we need not to worry about the data types. Obviously, yes, Sonali, you just need to declare the variable. You don't need to have the data types here. Okay, Farhan, default value, it's displaying junk value. How internally it's working? It's not junk value, Farhan, undefined. Undefined is one of the data type in JavaScript. That is the one speciality what you have in your JavaScript, which is undefined is a data type. Okay. So let us talk about the data types also, guys. What type of data you can give inside the variable? Okay, boss, you are saying var a. What type of data I can give? Okay. So JavaScript supports following data types. What are those? There is something called as a number. There is something called as a string. There is something called as a Boolean. There is something called as undefined. Undefined is also one of the data type in JavaScript. This is the speciality of the JavaScript. Null is one data type. Function is data type. Object is data type. So these all are the different types of data you can assign to a variable. So number, example is what? When I say a is equal to 90, it is a number. I say a is equal to 99.80. This is also a number. In JavaScript, there is no concept of decimal data type or float data type. Everything is a number. In the same way, when it is a string, a equal to say some b, it is a string. I say a equal to Mr. Raj, it is also a string. I say a equal to something, some junk values, some numbers, anything, it is also a string. Okay. Boolean, what do you mean by Boolean? I say a is equal to something called as true. It is a Boolean. I say a is equal to say some false. It's a Boolean. Any variable which is holding either true or false, we call it as Boolean. Now, what do you mean by undefined? I say var a. That's it. I'm not assigned anything. By default, it is undefined. Null, for this, I need to talk about the objects, which I'm not covered. So I'm not talking about the null here. And in case of JavaScript, every function is also one of the data type, because you can assign function also to the variables. Like alert is also a function. Object, we talk about this. Null and object, I will talk about these two things later. For now, hope everybody is so clear what type of data type you can give.
Can I use negative value to the number?
Sorry, what was that?
Negative value, a equal to -90. Can I use?
Yes, you can give it. Either it is decimal or positive. When I say number, number means decimals, positive values, and negative values also.
Sir, undefined var equal to a. What you mean?
When I declare any variable, by default, it will have a value called as undefined, which indicates it is not declared with any value.
And null?
Null is an object. That is what I said, right? For that object which was not having any data, we call it as a null. But for that, I need to talk about the object. So which I'm not talking right now. Object and null we'll talk about later.
Sir, if I will add number and a string, what will be happened?
Output will be string. I say a plus 10, it will be a10.
String, only string.
Only string.
So can we use for loops and
Sorry, but your voice is not clear. Could you repeat again?
So can we use for loops and while loops?
Every looping control structure, logical stuff, arithmetic operations, anything can be done as like other programming languages. For loops, while loops, I'll come to that. Control structures is the next topic what I'm going to cover. Everything as you can compare with other programming languages. What all you can do with programming languages can be done even in JavaScript also. We'll go one by one. Next.
What is primitive and non-primitive data types?
Sorry, what was that, Jyoti? Prakash?
What is primitive and non-primitive data types?
Primitive means which is already predefined. But in JavaScript, we have only primitive. I mean, there is a non-primitive data types also. We'll come to that later. For now, these all are primitive data types what we have. Okay, when I come to the advanced JavaScript, at that time there is something called as arrays, objects, a predefined part. So those things comes under non-primitive. We'll talk about that later. Next.
So instead of var,
number which is string, what will happen means if we add means it will 90 plus a string b, then it gives the result 90b. If we subtract means what will happen?
Okay, that's a good question. Let me see that. Okay, so what she's saying is, let me create separate example. Okay, so what she's saying is, what I say var a equal to 90. I say var b is equal to say some 99. I say var c is equal to a plus b I'm doing. Now if I say console.log c. Okay, let us see the output of this guy first of all. In the browser, let's go with the inspect. Go to the console, it says 189, super fine. Now if I say, instead of b99, I say b as a string. Okay, now if you see here, what is happening? 99, it is not doing the arithmetic operation. It is like summing these two. Now, instead of this, if I give minus, now when I give minus, it will be actually calculating it because minus cannot be applied on string. But if I say ABC, 90 minus ABC I'm doing. Now, if you reload this, you will be getting something called as NaN, which is called not a number. You are performing some arithmetic operation, which is not a number, because actually arithmetic operation can be done only on numbers. But if you try to put the things on the other than the numbers, this is what the error you're going to get, NaN. Next.
Or is it case sensitive, the Boolean value true if we put in
it is
capital?
Completely case sensitive. In JavaScript, there is var a equal to 90 is different, var a is equal to 99. This is
Okay, so true is small, right? The Boolean value. If we put in
sorry,
Boolean value, we have true and false, no?
I think I lost your voice. Yeah, could you repeat again, please?
So there are two Boolean values, right? True and false.
Yes, Boolean only have two values. Either it is true or false.
So if we write true in capital letters, whether it will accept as the Boolean
it will
value.
treat it as a string. I say, okay, I'll go one by one, guys, because I said you that boss. Okay, or else let me show you. I say something called as var is fee paid equal to true. I'm saying. Now I console this guy. Okay. Now I'm going to show this. Now what it is saying, it is true. Super fine. But now I am saying something called as true here. Now if you reload the page, what is the error you're going to get? It is saying that true is not defined because at line number 13, it is taking it as a string. Now you need to give it as an inverted commas, then it will work. Am I clear?
Yes. Thank you.
Next.
So
guys, somehow I'm not getting the voice louder. Yeah, could you repeat again? What was the question?
So can we write var a is equal to 90, comma var b is equal to abc and then put a semicolon?
At a time, you can initialize and you can declare. I say b is equal to 99, comma c is equal to a, b, c. You can do this. At a time, you can initialize the values. At a time, you can declare the values also. Next.
Sir, do we have conditions like if, else, and for statement?
That is what I said, right? Conditional control structure, if statement, for loop, for each, for off, for in, while loops, do while, lot of other things are there. We'll see them later.
Sir, what is NaN? We got the output NaN.
NaN indicates not a number. If you try to perform an arithmetic operation on non-variables, non-values, it will throw that NaN value error.
Okay, sir, what if you want to provide a limitation to a variable? Like a particular variable want to take only integer type.
Then you need to put a condition, right? So for that, first of all, you need to understand what type of data user is giving. So that is what the next method we have, which is type of method, which I'm going to discuss tomorrow. Type of method will tell you what type of data it is holding. Now, if you want to restrict the user to not to have other than the number, then you can make use of the type of method.
Okay, so we cannot use the data type number or boolean as a type. We must use this where.
Where is the only way you can, I mean, in JavaScript, there is no way you can specify the data type of the variable. It's all based on the data, what you're giving, the data type will be decided. Okay, so guys, let's do the enough practice on the things. Only true and false.
Hello, sir. Sir, I have a problem with GitHub. Do you hear me, sir? I have a problem with GitHub. You're having a problem with the GitHub. Okay. What's the problem, Ali? Sir, I cannot discard the changes.
You cannot discard the changes. I made you as a co-host. You want to share your screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys, I'm done with the task. I mean, I'm done with the discussion today. Okay, you can sign off if you don't have any questions. If you have questions, you can stay back. And Deepika, I think you asked about the repetitive of the, just to recollect the topics. Sorry, I didn't get the time today. We'll do that tomorrow, ma'am. Please remind me. Okay. Yeah, Ali, you can go ahead and share your screen.
Sir, when are we going to start Angular, sir? Effectively.
May I know who is the question who is asked this?
Deepika.
Deepika, I mean, have you opted the 2 courses? I mean, full UI along with the Angular, or you opted only
Sir,
the?
I just wanted to pay at that time.
Okay, and in that case, once you are done with the advanced JavaScript, you can join that Angular class as well.
Oh, yeah, sir, but how much time does it take to start?
Minimum 1 month more we'll be taking, ma'am, because we need to start from the core JavaScript. I'll be taking minimum 15 to 20 classes only for the core JavaScript. So it will take some time.
So, sir, you yourself would going to start the Angular classes, or how it will be like?
That depends, Piyush. Like if I have the batch for Angular, I will make you guys to join into that. I mean, whoever have opted the full stack with the framework. If not, other batch, when there is any other batch which got started, you will be moved to that batch. I mean, parallelly, you will be having this batch and that batch. And again, it depends. If you say that, no, boss, I want to completely finish this, then only I want to go. In that case, you can even do that also.
Okay, sir. Because I was waiting for
parallelly.
Parallelly, it is even recommended, ma'am.
Yeah. So can you please suggest me, sir?
Sure, that is what, ma'am, Deepika, right? Not right now, because like when you go to the advanced JavaScript and all, you need to have a minimum idea of, when you go with Angular or React, you need to have a minimum idea of advanced JavaScript concepts.
Sir, can you see the screen?
It is better we'll do that. Yes, I can see your screen, Ali. So Ali, can you right click on that guy? Discard changes.
It's not going, sir.
That's what you're saying. No. It's not going.
Sir.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Yeah, okay. Can you please click on pull origin? Unable to pull the branches, the following file would be overwritten. Okay. Click on stash changes and continue.
Nothing.